Abusing technology, something that we do daily, comes with a range of risks for our health. It disrupts our sleep, destroys our ability to focus and be creative, causes depression, and more. But even before these serious effects, the first casualty is our time, wasted in enormous amounts. Unless you don't own one, it's very likely you are affected by smartphone addiction, just like I am. We get on the tube and everyone is glued to their phones. The plane hasn't even touched the ground, and yet we are scrambling to turn off airplane mode. This all now starts at an early age, with parents handing tablets to their children so they can have dinner in peace. If we don't act immediately, we'll end up kissing goodnight to our phones instead of our partners. We need a change, and we need a method. Welcome to episode 2 of this podcast, where we talk about time management and how to defend the sanctity of our time from distractions. My name is Marcello Silvestri. I am an entrepreneur, consultant, and full stack developer based in London, and this is Methodical. I am constantly bombarded by intrusive thoughts, and there are moments when I suddenly get angry over unimportant stuff. And it's an anger that I often find difficult to control. An anger that takes me roughly 1 to 2 hours to calm down when I get these moments. If you know me, you probably wouldn't expect this of me. Honestly, neither would I, but it just happens, so over time, I've come to accept it as part of who I am. A mystery unsolved, with no solution in sight. Or so I believed. You see, about 6 months ago, I started a new health regime that completely reshaped my life, and it's actually one of the reasons why Methodical exists today. First of all, I started to regularly show up at the gym. Then, I fixed my diet. And finally, I took a serious break from technology after reading Alan Carr's book, Smartphone, Dumb Phone, which I really recommend, by the way, along with How to Break Up with Your Phone by Catherine Price. So, for an entire week, I barely looked at my phone or played any video game. After that week, my overall usage stayed very low for a very long time. And if there is one thing that I clearly noticed, is that my mood was consistently positive, and I stopped experiencing those angry outbursts. I mean, imagine that, day after day after day without a single moment of anger. So imagine my surprise when one day, after completing my early morning routine and while getting ready to go out, I got so frustrated that I couldn't tie my shoelaces, that I completely lost my temper, threw my shoes across the hallway, and stormed out of the house, so angry that I felt like I could tear down an entire wall with a punch. Well, maybe not literally, but I really was furious. The thing is, as we know, life is ups and downs. I had my up moment, so I knew that my down moment would arrive, and eventually it arrived. In the past, I always made the mistake of messing up all my positive habits just because one thing didn't go as planned. But now, I knew that long lasting change comes from consistency. It's the average of the habits I follow, not the occasional slip up, that truly makes the difference. So, I held strong, and here I am, still in my best possible shape. Okay, then, so why did I get that explosion of rage, and why do I still find myself with intrusive thoughts? You would ask. You guessed it right, the phone. So my phone usage had increased again, and with it, the constant feeling of being overwhelmed had returned. And this was making me anxious without me even noticing. But this was the very first time I was able to precisely pinpoint the reason why my mood was down again and my behavior erratic. It had never happened before, and it served as a reminder, as a stark reminder, that technology, the same technology that I grew up with and cherished throughout my entire life, had become my greatest enemy. The reason why I wanted to share that story with you is that I believe it helps to better understand the effects of technology addiction on us. It took me about 6 years from 2018 to 2024 to realize the root cause of most of my problems. Imagine how much time I've lost because of all the negative and unproductive days that I went through every single time the things I described happened. And I believe everyone is affected to some degree. And the earlier we realize it, and the earlier we will get rid of our demons. And the funny thing is that we know what's causing our technology addiction. It's the instant gratification, which triggers the release of dopamine in our brain. It's our incapacity to deal with boredom, although we do need boredom because it's the only torch that we have to light up our creativity. And it's also other things, like, for example, the attraction to colors. That's why you sometimes see recommendations to set your device to grayscale to make it less attractive. But this is not an issue we will solve with tools alone, and that's why I like talking about methods. I don't think it's going to be just an app blocker that will get this sorted. The app blocker is certainly a useful tool, but I've seen way too many people struggle with them and in turn get even more stressed because they believe they're not strong enough to resist the temptation to scroll through social media. And the only thing I can say is trust me, you are strong enough. You just need to shift your mindset. So, here is 4 recommendations from me to develop a working method to reduce your smartphone addiction or whatever device you use. Number 1 is leave your phone in charge after you wake up and turn on do not disturb mode so that your notifications are hidden unless you unlock it, even if you have an always on screen like new phones do. Put your phone away from your bed before you go to sleep. You don't need to hide it like on the other side of the house. You just need not to press that side unlock button when you wake up. And that is entirely what you need to do. Make it your personal challenge not to turn the phone on the first hour of the day, and you will see that your brain will automatically develop a morning routine because it will want to fill up that space, the same space that usually would be occupied by your phone. And of course, my recommendations are having your breakfast, do meditation, reading a book, things like that. Perhaps if you want, we can talk about my full morning routine in one of the future episodes. Actually, leave a comment if you are on YouTube, or I'll do a poll on Spotify about this. Let me know if it's something you'd like me to talk about. Number 2 is use blue light blockers. So this is a tool, it's really a tool that I believe you might need. Using devices, particularly after the sun has gone down, has a tremendous effect on your melatonin levels and it keeps you awake way past your natural bedtime. This makes you unproductive, and at the end of the day, you waste way more time to complete a task than you would if your mind was well rested. So, on your computer, you can install a free tool called Flux, that's f.lux, which will gradually adjust your screen's color temperature to reduce blue light when the sun goes down. On your iPhone or Android phone, these functions are even built in nowadays, so you can use this as a trigger to wrap things up and get away from your device. Number 3 is build a discipline ladder. So this is something that I learned from one of the podcasts where Cal Newport was invited, or maybe it was his own, I can't really remember now. But the point is, start with a small break from your phone and remember to make it a personal challenge. Start with 15 minutes, then 30, then 1 hour, then see if you can ramp up to several hours. And soon enough, you'll be able to go through extended periods of time without your phone, and your productivity will thank you for it. Number 4, and this is my favorite, and if you try it, I assure you it's going to work. Combine binaural beats and gamification to enter a state of deep focus and to get off your phone. Simply put, if you need to get something done and you find yourself procrastinating, do the following. Download Endel and Forest on your phone. Endel is an app that takes advantage of binaural beats to put you on a frequency that makes focusing easier for your brain. This is not voodoo magic and it's all science backed. Then, open the other app, Forest. This is an app where you'll need to plant trees to build your forest, And every time you do, you commit to a certain number of minutes of focus. Start with 25 and remember that if you switch to another app, your tree will die. So it will stay like that on the map forever. So you definitely don't want that. At this point, get off your phone and get to work, which will probably be at your computer. But still, your only commitment now is to simply do your task, nothing else. After the tree is planted on forest, do a few more until you are satisfied with the outcome. Then see it growing over the days, weeks, and months. Congratulations, you just created a repeatable moment of focus and at the same time replaced waste of time and phone addiction with real productivity. And that was it. So thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Methodical. We recently changed our format, so I hope this discussion has inspired you to reflect on the impact of technology on your life. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow the podcast on Spotify, and don't forget that for exclusive access to free and limited content, you can visit silvestri.gg/methodical. That's silvestri.gg/methodical. By signing up, you will immediately receive the free principle summary PDF from episode 0, and you will also unlock access to future community exclusive contents as they become available. Thank you very much, and talk to you soon.